everyone, meet again in Shalsabilla. Okay, after a while we finally meet again. Well, as usual, here we'll discuss literary works, both old and new from poetry to comics. So what are we going to talk about today? I think you must have known it from the title of our event today. Yep, today we will talk about Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. What is the meaning of Sonnet 18? What are the elements of literature in it? And how do people react to this literary work? Well, of course, I'm not going to talk about this alone. As you know, my guests must be extraordinary people. So, of course, today I also brought very special guests. First, she is Marcelina, a young actress who starred in several movies adapted from literary works such as Crazy Rich Asians, 5 Feet Apart, and the recent one is Little Woman. Celine, could you say hi to our audiences?
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here right now.
Yes, I know she's very charismatic. And then we have Ching Sioe, an eccentric and inspirational person. She was once included in Column magazine as one of the most influential people in this century. Ching Sioe, I'm one of your friends. I really didn't expect to be able to interact directly with you. Could you say hi to our audiences? They must be very excited about you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
And last, if you're a literary enthusiast, you must be familiar with her. Someone who may provide many recommendations and reviews about literary works. Of course, she's not an ordinary person. Her review has been claimed by prominent literacy. Yep, she is Iriffana Nadialhaq. Hi Irif, how are you? Seems like lately you have been really excited about making review content, right?
Hi Salsa and everyone here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm good and of course I always excited to make a review content.
Well, without any further ado, it will be better if we just get to the point of today's discussion. Because I know these people must have a lot of other things to do. Am I right? Okay, for those who didn't know about this poem, Sonnet 18 is one of the best known of the 154 sonnets written by English playwright and poet William Shakespeare. As we know, Sonnet 18 can be said to be an old literary work, so it's very likely that people today rarely notice this poem. So Ching Sioe, as a poet, can you give a little overview about it? What are the elements of literature in this poem?
Okay, first, I'd like to talk about the tone of the sonnet. When you are reading it, what do you feel? Or what do you think the speaker feels? The reader might feel love, passion, and admiration towards someone. And then I'd like to talk about the structure. The sonnet consists of 14 lines, where each of 4 lines ends with rhyme A, B, and then C, D, and then E, F, and finally G for the last 2 lines. It looks so neat and organized, yet still contains beautiful diction. Okay, let's move to what makes it so beautiful, the figurative languages. The main figurative language I find here is metaphor. Shakespeare compares his lover to summer day. Then there are also some personifications, as in the eye of heaven, or nor shall death break the wonders in his shade. He also uses symbolization, where he uses summer to symbolize the beauty and loveliness of youth.
Wow, that's a very interesting explanation. Usually the poems made by William Shakespeare always have a deep meaning, right? So when you read this sonnet, what do you think about the content of the poem? How do you interpret this poem? Maybe Celine, you want to share your thoughts with us?
Basically, when I read it for the first time, I believe that it's definitely a love poem. He opened this sonnet by a question, shall I compare it for a summer day? But you cannot find the answer in the rest of the poem. Then we read it closer and find imagery of nature that he used to proclaim his feelings about the beauty of his beloved one. And in the end of the poem, we can see Shakespeare proclaim that as long as he lives, he can still see the beauty of his lover, even though the seasons have changed. Well, the other guest star here might have the different opinion with me.
I totally agree with Celine. From the first line, we can see that the speaker is comparing someone's beauty to nature. Let's say the person he's referring to is the woman he loved. Nature is seen as something ideal, lovely, and grand. However, in the second line, he decides that she is actually more lovely than the nature. He says, though art is more lovely and more temperate. The word temperate here means that she is more steady and stable, unlike the nature where the sun can be too hot or too dim, or where summer ends too fast. Up to line 8, speaker depicts how nature is constantly changing. The beauty of summer fades through time, or there can be something happening ruining its magnificence. Then, in line 9 up to 12, he switches the focus from nature to his lover. He says that her eternal beauty will never fade, although in the previous lines, he indicates that fairness in nature will decline. How can it be? The answer relies on the last two lines in the sonnet. So, as long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long live this, and this gives life to thee. What do you think the word this refers to? It refers to the sonnet we are discussing now, the sonnet. Her loveliness is immortalized through the sonnet. In conclusion, the sonnet is about how poetry makes someone's beauty last forever as long as people read and discuss it.
But looks like it has a different interpretation, doesn't it?
Right, I have slightly different opinion with two of them. For me, this poem is one of the both most widely anthologized and the most misunderstood ones. Many people think that this sonnet compares a person to a summer day, but actually there is no one in this poem. It does not compare the beauty of nature with the beauty of a person. Sonnet 18 focuses on the writer's writing skills as he talked about his inspiration, and he also discussed his own abilities and the power of his skills, and sometimes even speak to the poem, as in Sonnet 18, where he dramatizes the comparison of poetry to a day in summer. On the first quatrain in his poem, he pondered whether he should compare his poetry to a warm summer's day. Then he continued to make a comparison. He found that his poetry was more beautiful and quieter than one of those beautiful days in summer. On the second quatrain, the writer then complained that summer could also be too hot. And last, in the third quatrain, the writer described the advantage that sonnets show in contrast to summer days. Unlike the summer days that must end, the sonnet will remain forever, defying the image of time.
Seriously, we really invite the right people for today. But after a lot of discussion, do you think this sonnet is still worth discussing at this time? If so, why is sonnet still worth discussing today, even though it is an old work?
I think it is still worth discussing today because its content is everlasting. It talks about a topic we all can relate to. We've all been in love or at least admire someone or something if you use different interpretation, right? Whether it is now or tomorrow or even hundreds of years from now, I believe people will always feel the tendency to love and adore someone or something. So, just like what Shakespeare wrote in the last two lines, as long as literature exists in humanity, the sonnet is still worth it.
How about you, Celine and Yuri? You guys have the same thought as Ching Sioe.
I do agree with her. I personally think that it's a very beautiful poem. I mean, we all know Shakespeare is a great poet. I like the feeling that I get from the poem, and it's beautiful because the sonnet uses a lot of metaphor. And it represents the moment when you are so in love with someone, then you got so blinded by their beauty. So this is a masterpiece that everyone can relate to, even it's already 2021 now. It would so amazing if someone make a classical movie based on this sonnet. I'm really anticipating for it.
If you ask me, is the Sonnet 18 still available today? Of course, yes. Sonnet 18 is a poem that contains the beauty and timelessness of poetry, even it was also reproduced as a song by the vocalist as well as guitarist of the band Pink Floyd. Moreover, it is always related to the very human fear that one day we will die and most likely to be forgotten.
Wow, it was such a great discussion. So actually, it doesn't matter whether the literary work are old or new. They will still be interesting to discuss because they have their own uniqueness. In addition, everyone must have a different view on literary works that will never end to be discussed. I swear to God, today's topic is very interesting. Thank you for all the guests today, and good luck on your next work or other activities that you're doing. I really hope we can meet again and discuss more interesting topics. And for the audiences, I really appreciate the time you took to watch Salsalan and stay healthy and be happy. See you in the next episode. Bye!